Okay, hello everyone and welcome to this month's webinar. My name is Cale Carruthers and I'm going to be your host today alongside Dee and Mark here at our office in beautiful Canada, Ontario. So first of all, thanks for taking the time out of your day to come to this presentation. We really appreciate it. We know that everyone's busy. It's not going to be a super long one today. Shouldn't take us long to go through, but there's lots of good information in here for everybody. Before we get started, we've got a couple of housekeeping things as usual. First is that everyone's muted, so we can't hear you. There's no point yelling at us or asking questions over the mic. We're not going to hear you. We will be accepting questions at the end. You're going to have to type those out for us. And of course, there is a recording available after. So if I'm talking too fast or you want to go back and check out information, or you want to send it to your coworkers, you're going to have that recording available for you after. So that said, we're going to go ahead and get started here. So a little bit about Teldio. Feel like everybody knows who we are mostly, but if you don't, we're an applications developer for Motor Turbo. We've been platinum in the past. We're now authorized application provider. We've been doing this for quite some time. So Teldio right now is starting to evolve to turn into a systems integrator and an applications developer. We are still committed to working with radios, but we're expanding to work with other things. Think the IoT, the Internet of Things. So all of our solutions are geared towards making your customers be more efficient, be safer, and doing it for an affordable amount of money. So today we're talking about the Teldio Gateway. What is the Teldio Gateway? Well, it's a customizable hardware platform. You can load a bunch of different solutions onto this gateway. It's small and powerful. You can see the dimensions there. It's really small when you see it in person. I was really surprised. We've got the specs listed up there for you guys. It's running on Linux. It's got 10 gigs of storage, which isn't that much, but it is expandable. It's got a bunch of built-in connections. The GPIO, that's the radio one. Got kind of the classic aux, USB, serial, Ethernet ports. We've got some expansion boards as well. Serial, audio, and the radio. So, what are we trying to get across with this gateway? What does it do? How can it help you guys? When a customer comes to you with a question and you're not sure if you can do it, what I want you to take away from this webinar is to never say no. Instead, say maybe. We want your customer to come to you, ask questions, and with the Teldio Gateway in mind, you can find the solution that best fits the situation. There's a ton of different things you can do with the gateway, and if you can't find something that we have pre-canned, that we already have set up, talk to us about a custom solution to help bridge that gap. In this diagram, we're trying to show you that there's a lot of different things that the gateway can do. We can hook it up to work ticketing systems. We can do tracking with beacons, Wi-Fi. We can hook up to weather systems, fire alarms, building management, SCADA systems. We can hook up to phone systems, contact closures, whether that's a PA, a strobe light. Whatever you want to do, the gateway can help you do it. So we've got some pre-configured solutions. These are available for you today. You can give me a call right after this is done. Actually, give me 5 minutes. But right after that, give me a call. We can talk about these today. The alarm solution. I feel like people, when they think of Teldio in the past, have known that we have a really good alarm solutions. We continue to have those. Think ACS, but cost effective. We've got a bunch of different alarm sources on the left-hand side, things that you guys are probably familiar with. SMTP, serial ASCII, SCADA, panic buttons, pressing a button on a radio, cell phone messages. There's a ton of different listeners that the gateway can interpret these messages. It's going to filter it out by location, time of day, workers' competency. It's going to send those out to a variety of different sources. That can be the radios, smartphones, emails, relay outputs. The possibilities here are really endless. And once again, it's more cost effective than things we've had in the past. We know not everybody can afford the Cadillac, so you can go with something super reliable and an easier pill to swallow, I think, for a lot of customers. Of course, we still have the ACS if you want that. So here are some inputs and outputs that we have for the gateway. We've got all the classics. Those are not the unbolded ones, but we've got some new integrations as well. We've got things like Modbus. We couldn't do that before. Web services. We've got BACnet. Radio events like PTT and ARS. Those are things we didn't have before. The gateway can work with those now. We've also got some extra outputs, things like serial ports, LED signs. Now that scrolling text go across. And social media, which is a big one. We're adding to these all the time, so we're going to have more. This is just what we have today, but it's always expanding. So lots and lots of possibilities with the alarm solution. We have the WTS. Now, we already did a webinar on this one. If you're interested in that webinar, we can always send you the link to it. But just a quick synopsis of it. The work ticketing system. It's an all-in-one system. It's for customers that don't already have something in place. They need something. They're coming to you. Hey, we would love to work, have these work tickets be sent out to cell phones and radios, to emails. We need something. We don't have something. We need it to be cost-effective. We need it to work. We need it to be user-friendly. We need it to be simple. WTS is all of these things. All we need is an IP network connection and or a radio network, and you're going to have that functionality for your customer. If you haven't checked out the webinar, check it out. It's a great product. Radio status tracker. This is a simple and easy to use solution. It's going to track when radios turn on and off, when they're currently PTTing, and one of the features that I think is the coolest is that you can set a manual location. I had a customer come to me, ask me, is it possible to track a radio's location before he goes into a building? They don't want to set up any beacons. They don't want to do any GPS. They just want the customer to be able to select from a drop-down where they are before they go in. It's possible with the radio status tracker. There are other solutions out there that are more sophisticated, but they're more pricey. This is going to work. It's cost-effective. It's going to accomplish what you're trying to do. HotSOS. You guys have probably heard of it. We hear about it all the time. This is a request that we were getting very, very frequently. HotSOS is a work ticketing system. A lot of hotels out there have HotSOS. We had a solution that worked with HotSOS. We've been working with HotSOS for a while. But we can now work with it even better. At the end of April, we're going to release this. We've been officially certified with HotSOS. We work with their API. For those of you who have done integrations with us in the past, it's about to get a lot easier. There's no emails to set up. You're going to have the ability to use Teldio smart tickets. Text messages and job tickets are also supported, but the big seller is those smart tickets. You're going to be able to send it out to a group of radios, have one person respond, and have that automatically update the other radios. We've got things like group messaging to reduce the load on the radio network, which is big. We've got automatic retries without needing the ARS or data confirmation. So smart tickets is only available with Teldio. You're only going to get that here. We're pretty pumped about that. End of April. I'm excited for it. Everybody here has been working on that for a while. So it's big news for us, and I think your customers are really going to appreciate it. One of the big things here is that your customer is used to working on HotSOS. They hate change. They don't have to change. They can continue to use HotSOS as they have in the past. That's not going to change. Creating those tickets is not going to change. The endpoint's going to change. It's going to be your radios. But that customer isn't going to have to learn a whole new system. They just have to know how to use HotSOS like they've been doing for the past year or more. So we've got some other apps here as well. We've got things like the radio panic alert solution. So pretty straightforward there. You're pressing a button, you're triggering a panic alarm. You're going to have less configuration issues. It's easy to set up. It's simple. We've got weather alerting solutions. This one's kind of cool. We've always had a weather alerting solution. We've always used the NOAA weather alerts. This is great. You get all sorts of weather stuff. You also get kind of civil alerts like Amber alerts and things like that. And you can set that up. The problem was you had to add a piece of hardware, and there was a lot of configuration issues. It took a lot of time to select which county you're in, which alarms you want to get. It was a bit time consuming. With this, you don't have that issue anymore. It's much simpler, no extra hardware, and you're still getting the great service from the NOAA. So those are our pre-canned applications. Now we're going to talk to you about custom solutions. So this is big for us. We're trying to get more into this. Never say no, say maybe. Custom solutions. So we have some examples here for you guys. This is a good one. It was a park district that wanted to lock and unlock doors for the bathroom units at multiple locations. They didn't have a solution. They couldn't find a solution. They came to us, and we custom built something for them. It's a web application. They can log in. They can set a schedule. They can say 9 to 5, that's when the doors are open. We need them locked after that. We've got user logins. You can do a manual unlock and lock of doors from the radios. You're going to get status confirmation. You're going to get breach notifications. We worked with the customer. We gave them a drawing, a design of what we thought it was going to look like. They confirmed it, and we built it. They didn't say no to their customer. They said maybe. Then they came to us, and we said yes. One of the big things here is that it only took 3 weeks to develop that. So if you're thinking, we don't have time to go down this road, there's no time. The customer needs this next month. Give us a call. We might be able to do it for you. I'm not going to always guarantee 3 weeks of work. I don't have to do any of the development, so it's easy for me to say. But I wanted to show you guys that it can be quick. You're going to get a good product, and we're going to support you for the duration of the lifetime of this product with the customer. Here's an example. We've got the door here. It's unlocked. We've got the radio hooked up. See it on the screen there. You send that signal over the web application, you're going to be able to lock it. You're going to be able to do that manually from a handheld as well. We worked hand in hand with the customer here. Once again, we went back and forth with the design. Hey, this is what it's going to look like. Is that okay? Is this what you want? What features do you want? Let's run it through with them. Let's make sure that pet peeves they had with other solutions, things that weren't working properly, can we avoid that? Can we change that by design to make it better? The answer is yes. This example happened to me just recently. We had a customer, he works in a radio tower. He wanted to, immediately after he's done talking, He picks up a radio in an emergency. It's the only time he picks up the radio. When he picks it up, he wants to hit that PTT button. It's going to transmit out, and he wants that audio stored and sent out to multiple recipients via email. I didn't know if it was possible, but I didn't say no. I said maybe. So I talked to some of the smart people here at Teldio, and they were able to build this in one day. They were able to put this together and say, hey, we're going to do this. Now, the customer, you know, they may want to expand on this. They may want to add more. But for this basic functionality here, it took us one day to confirm we could do that. They hit that PTT button. There's a fire alarm. There's something going on with the plane, some sort of emergency. It's sending out to a BlackBerry. That can't be real. Nobody has a BlackBerry anymore. More likely an Android or an iPhone or any other smart device. Huawei? No? Anyways. So we can send it out. So, you talk to your customers all the time. I'm sure they come to you with things all the time that you're not sure if you can do it. We want you to bring that to us. Tell us your customer requests. We're looking for a new challenge. One day to build that application, I think Mark needs a challenge. Why not make the next solution yours? Why not make the next presentation we're talking about, the next use case, the next case study that we're sending out to show off what we were able to do? Why not make that your customer? Give us a call, sales@Teldio. Give me a phone call. Email me. Send me a smoke signal. I want to hear from you about these. So just to summarize, why use the Teldio Gateway? Easy development. I can say that because I don't have to do it. Cost-effective solution. Lots of different connections types, tons of different integration possibilities, and short timelines for custom solutions. Okay, so now my really easy part of this is done. We're going to open it up for questions. So if you have a question, type it out to us. We're going to read it. We'll get you an answer.
Hello, everyone. This is Dee from Teldio. So we have a question about SCADA information and past projects in terms of what have you done in the past of SCADA data. So SCADA in itself can be output in multiple different ways. It could be serial outputs. It could be SNMP related outputs. It could be OPC protocol outputs. So we are able to integrate to all those types via both the Teldio Gateway and the Cadillac that Kale talked about, the ACS as well. So we've always been able to integrate with SCADA type inputs. I hope that answers the question. So a question from Sam. He asks if you can go back to the slide showing the new listeners and delve them into a bit more, such as example use cases. So yeah, Kale, I think it's that list of all the listeners that we have.
Inputs and outputs.
Inputs and outputs, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So in here, so Modbus is another protocol, another way someone can output data via a serial port. Right, Mark?
Yeah, so recently actually here in Ottawa, we had an integration with the Teldio Gateway where they were had a bunch of different PLCs that output Modbus. We were looking at those different registers, and if it went high, then we would send an alert to either mechanics or electricians to let them know that there was an issue with that particular machine with the PLC that was attached to it. So that was either reading 1-bit values, 16-bit values for reading alarms or notices that way through the Modbus protocol.
So some of the older alarm systems that are out there, or maybe some of the newer ones, instead of having if you see a serial port, instead of it being actual serial ASCII, they might actually be outputted via Modbus or even TAP in that case. Web services are any hosted system. That HotSOS example that we showed you, it's an API, technically a web service. So there could be a lot of other, sometimes people come to us with requests and we ask how do they output, and they say just over the Ethernet, and it's not email or any network-based protocol. So in those cases, it's mostly web services. So the Teldio Gateway can listen to those services. Might mean that we need to be on the internet to do that, depending on how that's sent to us. In terms of radio events, PTT, ARNS, just something quite simple. The radio status tracker pre-configured solution we showed you, that's what it does. It just tracks PTT and many other ARS events that radio sends to us. Backend is also another protocol that we've heard over and over. It's something that we haven't had an answer for a long time, and this is something that will be available. It's something that's output via build-it management system, so we can integrate to that. In terms of outputs, so serial ports, so we can take serial into the system, but some people want a signal sent back to an alarm panel. So alarm comes into the Teldio Gateway, we send it out to radios, cell phones, emails. When someone actually acknowledges that message, they want the message sent back to the originating alarm system to let it know someone's taken care of it, and that system could only take in serial input. So that's something we weren't able to do it previously. We can do it with the Teldio Gateway. LED signs, I think that's self-explanatory. Social media for think schools or just any big hospitals, buildings, exactly, where some sort of panic event comes, you want to automatically post out something on Twitter or any other media that they use for the school or that hospital or building. So those are kind of some use cases that these new outputs can be used in. We have some more questions that have come in. Are the radio alerts pre-canned text or customized? Can they be voice alerts? Yes, yes, and yes. So the radio alerts, it could be pre-canned. So to go back to that Modbus example or relay output, those don't send us text information. So we could say when it's this bit, send this text. When the relay goes high, send this pre-canned text. We could also take some sort of text that come in and make some replacements to those texts. So they might send us a code that's not really understood by everyone. So code ABC, we could say, okay, when it says ABC, send out there's a fire alarm to the radio, so they know exactly what that means. We could also do voice alerts to radios and to phones, where those would be pre-canned messages, where in most cases they would be pre-canned, but the gateway actually has a way to kind of mix and match some pre-recorded voice snippets and make an audio file on the go as well. So that was another question from Keith. From Patrick, we have on retries to groups, radio groups, that's one act from group null retries to the rest of the group radios. I think you might be referring to the smart tickets here, but yes, yeah. So even the job tickets. So we could, so message gets sent to the group. When one person accepts it, how that works is we send a message to all the other radios saying, hey, someone's taking care of this ticket. You don't need to take care of this. So any further action on that alarm, on that ticket, would just be sent to the radio that accepted it. So that's something we can do as well. Let me know, Patrick, if that's what you meant. If not, we can take that offline as well. All right, then we have something from Joe. Are there plans to integrate GPS and indoor tracking beacon IDs from radios to trigger events such as unlocking doors? So we have, as you know, we have the TrueFleet solution that work with GPS and indoor tracking beacon IDs. We don't have any plans right now to integrate into that, but that might be something we could do do further down the road. Again, going back to those web services, if that system can send us a web service message when there's some sort of a trigger, then we could take that and perform an action on the gateway. So that's the beauty of all of the custom things that we can do on the gateway. It's very rapid development and just taking all these different types of new inputs in, and we can do a lot of things. And yeah, if there's any more questions, so I think we have a few more minutes left.
Okay, guys, so that's going to be the last round of live questions here. Thanks so much for taking the time out of your day and listening to us here. If something comes to you a bit later, just send us an email, give us a call here in the office. We're happy to answer any questions and discuss any opportunities that might be out there. So once again, thanks a lot for your time, guys. We really appreciate it. We hope you have a wonderful Thursday.
Thank you.